childhood and adolescence of Hazrat Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace. Muhammad's father Abdullah died about 6 months before his birth. It was the custom of the Arabs at that time to raise the children in the open climate of the desert, to give them to the Bedouin women who were engaged in milking them immediately after birth, and to take them back after a certain period of time, in order that they might grow up in a healthy body, well-formed, and speak pure Arabic. According to this custom, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was also handed over to Halima as Sadiya. Halima belonged to the tribe of Bani Sa'd, and the Arab Bani Sa'd tribe at that time was the purest and most fluent Arabic speaker. After bringing the baby home, Halima regained her composure and they were able to raise the baby boy properly. One incident of that time is notable. The baby Muhammad would only drink from one of Halima's breasts and leave the other for his other nurse brother. After 2 years of fostering, Halima returned the baby Muhammad to his mother Amina. But soon after, an epidemic broke out in Mecca and the baby Muhammad was returned to Halima. Halima also wanted to get the child back. His hope was fulfilled. According to Islamic belief, a miracle happened a few days after this. One day, a part of the liver was cut open in the chest of the child prophet, washed in the water of Zamzam well and placed again in its proper place by angels Gabriel and angels Michael. This event is known as the incident of chest splitting in the history of Islam. After this incident, Halima returned Muhammad to Amina. He lived with his mother until he was 6 years old. At this time, one day Amina wants to go to Medina with her son. It was probably due to visiting a relative and visiting her husband's grave. Mother Amina, son, father-in-law and companion Ayman traveled 500 kilometers to reach Medina. He spent a month in Medina. A month later, on his way back to Mecca, he fell seriously ill at a place called Abwa and died there. After the death of the mother, the grandfather Abdul Muttalib reached Mecca with the child Muhammad. From then on he looked after Muhammad. When Muhammad was 8 years 2 months 10 days old, his grandfather also died. Before his death he left his son Abu Talib in charge of Muhammad. Abu Talib was a merchant and traveled to Syria once a year according to Arab rules. When Muhammad was 12 years old, he decided to go to Syria with his uncle. Abu Talib could no longer forbid because of intense compassion. After reaching Bushra on the journey, Abu Talib camped with the caravan. At that time, Bushra, the capital of the Kingdom of Arabia Patria, occupied by Rome in the Arabian Peninsula, was famous in many ways. It is said that in the city there was a Christian priest called Zarzis who was better known as Buhera or Bahira. He came out of his church and entertained the travelers of the caravan. At that time, he saw the boy Muhammad and identified him as the last prophet. Muhammad was 15 years old when the Battle of Fizr began. He indirectly participated in this war. That is, he helps his tribe in various ways, including supplying them with weapons, without fighting directly. He was deeply distressed by the brutality of the war. But there was nothing he could do. From that time he started thinking of doing something. Because of his good character and good behavior, he was addressed as Al-Amin, Arabic, meaning the faithful, trustworthy, and as-Siddiq, meaning the truthful. Pre-prophetic life, an organization called Hilful Fuzul was established to suppress the violence, treachery, and revenge among the Arabs. Muhammad joined it and played a major role in advancing this association. It is known from various sources that Muhammad did not have any profession in his youth. However, many have mentioned that he used to graze goats. Usually the goats he used to graze were from Banu Sa'd tribe. He used to graze the goats of various people living in Mecca for a fee of a few karats. Then he started in business. Muhammad achieved great success in this work within a short period of time. He visited Syria, Busra, Bahrain and Yemen several times on business. When Muhammad's fame spread far and wide, Khadija bint Khuwaylid was informed and requested him to go on a business trip. Muhammad accepted this offer and went as far as Busra in Syria with Khadija's goods. Khadija was overwhelmed by Maysara's praise of Muhammad's honesty and justice. Besides, seeing the success of the business, he was also informed about his qualifications. At one point she decided to marry Muhammad. He expressed his thoughts about marriage to his girlfriend Nafisa bint Munabihar. After listening to Nafisa, Muhammad says that he will talk to her guardians. Muhammad spoke to his uncles and consented to the marriage. Khadija was 40 years old and Muhammad was 25 years old at the time of marriage. He did not marry again during Khadija's lifetime. Khadija bore Muhammad 6 children, 4 daughters and 2 sons. Their names are Qasim, Zainab, Ruqayya, Kulsum, Fatima and Abdullah respectively. Both sons died in infancy. All of the girls reached the Islamic age and embraced Islam, and all died in her lifetime except Fatima. When Muhammad was 35 years old, the need to rebuild the Kaaba arose. The renovation of the Kaaba began due to several reasons. The old building was demolished and new construction started. Thus, during the rebuilding, a setback occurred when the construction work up to the Hazrat Aswad, holy black stone, was completed. Originally there was a dispute over which tribe member would do this work. Construction work was divided among all the clans. But establishing Hazrat Aswad was one's work. A dispute broke out over who would install it, and after 4 or 5 days the dispute became so serious that it threatened to lead to murder. In this situation, a man named Abu Umayyah Maksumi decided a solution that the decision of the first person to enter through the door of Masjid al-Haram the next morning would be accepted by everyone. The next day Muhammad entered the Kaaba first. Everyone was quite pleased with this and accepted him as a judge. And everyone had deep trust in him. However, given this responsibility, Muhammad handled it very smoothly. He spread a sheet and placed Hazrat Aswad on it with his own hand and called the leaders of each of the disputing clans and asked them to take the different corners of the sheet to their respective places, and they did so. Then he lifted the stone and placed it in a certain place. Prophecy received. According to Islamic sources, Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, received prophethood at the age of 40, that is, it was at this time that the Creator sent a message to him. According to the hadith narrated by Az Zuri, Muhammad received revelation through visions of truth. After reaching the age of 30, Muhammad often spent time in meditation in the cave of Hira, near Mecca. His wife Khadija used to bring him food regularly. According to the hadith, one day while meditating, the angel Gabriel came to him with the message of God and asked him to recite these verses. Recite, in the name of your Lord who created. He created man from clotted blood. Recite, your Lord is the most merciful, who taught with the pen, taught man what he did not know. Muhammad replied that he did not know how to read, whereupon Jibreel hugged him and pressed him hard and asked him to recite the same line again. But this time too, Muhammad expressed his impotence. After pressing 3 times in this way, Muhammad was able to read the verse. According to Muslim belief, this is the first set of verses in the Quran, the first 5 verses of Surah Al-Alaq. The narration also mentions that after receiving the first message, Muhammad was so frightened that he entered his house trembling and asked Khadija to cover him with a blanket. He kept saying, "Cover me." Khadija fully believed all these words of Muhammad and accepted him as a prophet. To allay her fears, Khadija took Muhammad to her cousin Waraka ibn Nawfal. Nawfal calls him the last prophet. Nabi gradually assimilated. Then wait again for the next revelation. After a long pause, God's words came to him for the second time. Now some verses of Surah Mudassir were revealed. From then on, Muhammad devoted himself to spreading Islam secretly.